Just let me. Okay, I think we're all together. Yeah, where are you going? Nice try.
Okay, thank you very much, everybody, for coming to our first ever UBC Cannabis Convention. A very exciting day for me. I've been an activist for 16 years, and you'll hear bits and pieces of my story through the day. My name's Ted Smith, and I've been working with hempology for, like I say, 16 years now. It's kind of coming full circle being back here in Vancouver. And I'm going to let some of the students here introduce themselves and kind of why they're here and what we're doing today. And then I'll come back and fill you in on what we're doing a bit more. But here I have Graham Nixon, the president of the club up here. Thank you very much for all your work, Graham. And Ed, what was your last name again? Durgan. And Ed's with the Social Justice Center.
Oh, right.
And Ed and the Social Justice Center have been instrumental in
and
now he's back at the back to... have been instrumental in having us get a club here and stuff. So thank you very much, everybody, and I'll do it. I know.
Thanks, Ted. I'm gonna grab my microphone for this one. It's a little cool. Well, welcome again. I can't tell you how stoked I am that this is actually happening. When I got here at UBC, this is my first year, by the way. So when I got here at the beginning of the year this year, and found out there was no hempology club, there really was no like movement or kind of like education going on here specifically at UBC, I was shocked. It's the West Coast. I actually just couldn't understand it. So got through the bureaucracy, the AMS, took only like a few hundred meetings and emails and missed calls and everything, but we're finally here, and we finally have our first convention. So thank you so much again for coming out. Today is going to be a good discussion, a very lively discussion on a topic that I think really, for the most part in the main media, doesn't receive a balanced analysis. So it's going to be really cool trying to see other perspectives of cannabis and how we can use it. So because Hempology is a 101's a brand new club here at the AMS, we just have to go over like a really I almost don't want to, but we have to go over this kind of like nitpicky regulation. We know that some people in our crowd today might have cards that allow them to smoke in public, which is fine because this is totally your medicine, but we can't really associate that with Hempology 101 right now since we are just like a brand new club. So while we respect everyone's right here to smoke or indulge, whatever, we cannot basically tell you to go do it. So just be mindful and respectful of other people if you're going to light up at any point. In here? In here, preferably outside. So, absolutely, that's pretty much from us because we're just a brand new club. I guess we have our club's meetings right now. We have it on Monday at 4 o'clock in the room right next to us, sub 212. So everyone and anyone is welcome to come join. It's just we're going to be showing Ted's actually first lecture, or not his first lecture, our first lecture broadcasting from here. And yeah, we are actually going to change our meeting times from that point though to Thursdays at 5 o'clock. So it's I'm sorry, it could still be in the air. I don't know. The executives are still kind of fumbling around, but right now we have another meeting this Monday upcoming at 4 o'clock, sub 212. So that's enough from us. I want to put out a huge thank you to the Social Justice Center. Honestly, without their commitment and without their help in supporting this event, there is no way this would have happened. The Social Justice Center is completely responsible, along with Ted Smith and Hempology and all those involved, for making this event happen. So great big thank you to everyone there. And following on that, I'd like to bring up to the podium Ed Durgan from the Social Justice Center to kind of give his spiel on this, and so he can say a few words. Ed.
Thanks, Graham. I'm just going to stay sitting down if that's all right. Put this down here. And thanks for the privilege to open this mini conference today to the organizers. And I want to kind of give the angle of the SJC on this. You know, what this means from our perspective. And I am a little about myself, I guess, too. I'm a 5th or 6th year PhD student, I don't know. And I'm working on homelessness and mental illness. Done a lot of research on the downtown east side and in Seattle, downtown Seattle. Myself, in the past few years, I've been involved in grassroots community organizing here in the city, especially with the anti-Olympics convergence, and for housing rights and anti-poverty activism. So, I started off a few years ago here at UBC with the UBC SDS. And some of you may have been around a few years ago and remember Knoll Aid or the Save the Knoll campaign, which stopped the bus loop from coming into campus, and we stopped market housing from being built on the place where the Knoll. We did save the Knoll, it's still there, and it's one of the best places on campus to blaze. Well, the Social Justice Center, you know, we recognize that there are immense socioeconomic inequalities, both globally and in our own communities. And these inequalities are inherently unjust. The SJC, we aim to take action to abolish these inequalities. As such, we oppose capitalism and other authoritarian systems. I want to also acknowledge that we had a big victory just last night, or 2 nights ago. The AMS Council finally approved a $700 cash transfer from the SJC to the Solidarity for Palestinian Human Rights Club on campus, which will go to the Canadian boat to Gaza, which will sail in the upcoming Freedom Flotilla that will attempt again to break the blockade. Yeah. It took us 3 months. The AMS and the AMS Executive and the Israel Awareness Club, the Hillel House, the Jewish Fraternity, all mobilized against us with a massive smear campaign. We appeared in the National Post. You know, they smeared us in the National Post. They handed out postcards that said we were pirates and all kinds of horrible shit like that, called us anti-Semitic and Jew bashers and all kinds of other horrible stuff. So it was a very hard-won victory. And this is also a big victory, I think. You know, the organizers came to us a while back and asked for our support. They were getting a lot of flack, a lot of static to you know, to form a club. So, you know, we joined forces with them and helped them get established as a club. And you know, they gave us the opportunity and the privilege to sponsor this event and help put it on. So we're really happy that to be part of this as well. I've been an on and off hemp activist for several years. I was volunteered down in HempFest in Seattle for several years in a row. And I don't know if you guys know about that, but it's a huge political rally that draws around 300,000 people annually. It takes place in the summer, at the end of the summer in Seattle at Myrtle Edwards Park. And I think it's on like the 14th annual or something next year or something like that. You guys should try and make it down if you can next year. It's fantastic. It's very empowering. And it's beautiful. And so just more though on my take from the SJC perspective and from the perspective of what we like to call the movement. Since the Olympics, I've been involved with housing rights activism, anti-poverty activism, but since the Olympics, a lot of different groups came together at the tent city, the tent village during the Olympics. There were indigenous rights groups, anti-war groups, anti-capitalist groups, of course anti-poverty and environmental activist groups. And we've really come together recently, and now the way I see it is, the time of, and this is a special message for hempology, I think, that the time of single issue activism is over. We have to join together. We have to, see the bigger picture and really work together. Otherwise, we're going to fall victim to the divide and conquer of the power elites, of the global power elites. So, on that note, I want to. I meant to start off by stating that I want to acknowledge that this event is predicated on the theft by coercion of traditional Coast Salish territories. We're now on traditional Musqueam land, and to varying degrees, each of us is complicit in that theft. So, beyond that, I don't know what else to say. Oftentimes, people say thank you, for allowing us to be here, but I don't think we really have permission, so I can't really say thanks, but I want to acknowledge our history and acknowledge that, that this theft that has taken place, and in order to reclaim, stating that we can start to reclaim our history and find justice in our society. So on hempology, I want to say just a couple things about logos, or the ology part of hempology. It's often referred to as simply the study of this or the study of that, but to the ancients, this is one of the most ancient words to appear in print. To the ancients, this meant something more along the lines of mind, or knowledge, or what is knowable, what is intelligible, what is meaning, what is the meaning of hemp, in this case, hempology. And also I want to say that, meaning is not merely revealed through science or through study alone. It has to be validated, it has to be explored and discovered through dialogue, through discussion, through events like this, where we're engaging in a discussion and a dialogue. We're sharing what we know, and we're sharing the questions that we have with each other in the hopes that we can come to a mutual understanding and a validation of what the meaning of this movement is. I think also, just on the note of the sort of unity of the movement, the overall movement, we have to be very careful, because the history of colonialism and capitalism is replete with examples of hemp and cannabis being appropriated by the power elites. In recent years, we've had countless victories in the hemp movement, in the free cannabis movement. And, these are all, we should acknowledge those and be happy, be proud of those victories, but we also have to be very careful that, with capitalism crumbling around us, and with, anti-authoritarian movements having success in other places around the globe, and with manifestations of it here, like during the Anti-Olympics Convergence and during the G20 in Toronto, that we keep an eye on the larger picture, and we don't allow for this amazing plant to be appropriated again, by the power elites, to be sort of subsumed within capitalism, and to be used to sort of continue to cultivate and perpetuate those systems of oppression. I think this is a crucial point in the hemp movement, because we have had so many victories recently, and I know we have a long ways to go, and the other speakers are going to talk about that, especially the anti-prison But the potential of hemp as a fuel source, as a range of textiles, as a protein source, as a medicinal herb, has the potential to liberate us, to liberate the world, to save the earth. I don't think this is hyperbolic. I don't think this is an exaggeration. We've got the evidence. The evidence is there, and you're going to hear about it more from the other speakers. But again, we can't underestimate the power of the people that are in power and their desperate attempts that we can foresee, that we can expect, for them to hold on to power and for them to use the potential in textiles, the potential as a fuel source, the potential as a protein source, and even the potential that hemp and cannabis has as a medicinal, really miracle plant to maintain their position. So in our discussions today, I see our chance to establish and to develop a logos, or a meaning of hemp and of cannabis that will lead us to that other world that we know is possible. And I think with that, I'm gonna sign out. I'm gonna apologize because I have to take off. I have to go to another event, but I'm gonna pass it on now and just say thanks a lot for being here, and I'll see you next year at the second annual. Okay?
Thank you very much, Ed. And again, the Social Justice Center and a few of the other students here were instrumental in literally fighting for our right to even have a hempology club here. It was quite a struggle, and the room here isn't ideal in any sense, but my goodness, the bureaucracy here is stunning. We were lucky to get a space at all. So it will likely be in another facility next year. We'll book it well in advance. But again, thank you so much, Ed, and the rest of the Social Justice Center and other students for helping establish Hempology 101 here. Right on.
Thank you. More power to you. See you.
Thank you. So we have a full day ahead of us here. And before I go much further, I should send some regrets. We've had two people not able to attend that were on the speakers list. Dr. Paul Hornby, unfortunately, has come down with illness and won't be able to be here. Now, he has been at many other conventions in the past, and we've filmed them and put them up on YouTube. So if you want to see some of what Dr. Hornby has talked about, that there will be that opportunity, and we'll have him come to conventions in the future as well, and have lined him up for next year. So if he was the main person you came to see, you may have to wait in that sense, but we will have him around a lot more often. In fact, this is just the beginning of Hempology here on campus. At the back, I have a poster for the lecture series I teach over at the University of Victoria. This is really an expansion of the work we've done over there. At UVic, Hempology 101 is the largest student club on campus. If you go into the back, you can see we make up postcards of our weekly 420s. The pictures there have students of 280, 320, and 380 this last year. That's from a weekly 420. There's some of the biggest of each year, but I think we're averaging well over 200 students at 420 this year. In fact, the first 2 months we had over 300 almost every single week. It's been quite overwhelming. I teach 22 free lectures. We put them live on the internet and again up on YouTube as well. And I should put a plug in. Thank you, Cannabis Culture. I see Jeremiah back there. We're not only live on hempology.ca, but Cannabis Culture is live streaming this as well. And we hope to work more with Cannabis Culture and others in live streaming and recording these various events. And so next September will be not only the 6th year of the lectures at UVic, but we plan on kicking off the lectures here at UBC. So on Fridays from 3:30 to 4, there'll be a lecture that will be the same topic, and there's again 22 throughout the year that we're teaching in Victoria. And I think it's going to work that I teach Wednesdays at UVic, and the lectures here will be Friday. Gives me a little bit of time to come over. The first lecture is on the ancient history of cannabis, and I'm really hopeful that our first speaker here today, Chris Bennett, who's really the world's most renowned authority on the subject, is going to kick off next September in the first lecture here. And you'll be able to sit at home if you're in the Okanagan. We have friends that came from the Okanagan here. And Fridays, or Wednesdays and Fridays in your medical club or at home, you can put up the videos, and if we do our job right, we're not only going to expand to more campuses, and I mentioned the Kelowna Club, we have a group here from the Kind. If we do our job right, October 17th, we're going to have a convention at the UBC Kelowna campus. And it's really exciting to be expanding to more and more campuses. In fact, this is our second campus. We now have a hempology club at the Vancouver Island University in Nanaimo. We'll be having our second annual convention there in March. So this is kicking off our convention season. We're here now. February 20th is our convention at UVic. And then March 20th is our convention in Nanaimo. And so it's something that we not only plan on having these 22 lectures occurring at universities really around the planet if we do our job right, but we also hope to have conventions at universities, certainly spreading across Canada first and a lot in the States, but otherwise we do hope to encourage other people to just get together and talk and learn and share and inspire each other with their stories and history. And so it's really exciting to be here. 16 years ago I came across my first real small group of people gathered downtown by Hemp BC. The manager of Hemp BC, Dana Rosiak, was having Hempology 101 meetings in her home, and I just came across this wonderful group of people that just wanted to, use the herb, share the herb, teach people, and it just inspired me. So I've written a textbook for Hempology 101. It's on the hempology.ca webpage, and there's a new one coming out hopefully in the year. We're working on that as well. Many projects on the go here, but there's a lot happening with hempology, and in a way it's really exciting because there's a lot happening all over the place. And I mentioned the two speakers that weren't here, so in a sense you might think there's not a lot to talk about, but nevertheless we just had Dana Larson, our good friend, come in the back. Hey Dana, we'll give Dana a few minutes here, probably more towards the end when the group is probably more larger, but we'll let Dana come up and speak. Jim Doherty has come up here from the United States, taken a day off his practice of law to come and help us fight these stupid laws. And John Conroy's on his way here as well, one of the top lawyers in the country. So even though the speakers list might be a bit short, they're top notch. We're so glad to have them here.